Today on Clubhouse Gas, we're going to be joined by softball instructor and sports psychologist Crissy Rapp. Now, she's played all over the world and she's even coached at the collegiate level. And today, she's going to work with me on how to become a fast pitch pitcher. It's the very basics. I've never done it before. So if you've got a little girl and she wants to become a pitcher, these are a couple of things, mom and dad, that you can work with them on to help them develop the tools that they'll need to be a successful pitcher in fast pitch softball. It's going to be pretty interesting, and I'm guaranteed to make a fool out of myself. So stay tuned to Clubhouse Gas. We're lucky enough to be joined again by our softball guru, Crissy Rapp. You're going to teach me today how to pitch.
I'm going to try.
I have absolutely no knowledge of this topic, so good luck to you.
Okay.
So where do we start?
We're going to start simple. First thing with beginner pitchers is working on the motion and hand placement for the appropriate snap. Your fastball is your pitch that you really need to start with, obviously, so until we get that fastball mastered and that snap mastered, only there can we move to other pitches. When we talk about hand placement, what we want to see is a backwards C in the ball, and you want to tell your athlete to put 4, if their hands are smaller, or 3 fingers on those seams, and you want a little bit of a gap between the palm and the ball in order to allow that snap action. And all we want to do to start is work on cocking the wrist back and snapping it and letting the ball roll right off the fingers, and we want to get as many rotations as we can with all 4 seams spinning seam over seam. So we don't want to see it spinning sideways, which means that we're kind of slinging it or turning it to the side. So we really want, and I call it staying behind the ball. So you keep your hand right behind that ball and it's not shooting out the side. So it's the first skill to really master is that snapping the ball up, getting it to spin as much as possible, and staying behind the ball, which Casey's going to work on.
Now, is most of that done with the fingers or with the wrist?
Most of it's done with the wrist. Most of it's done with the wrist, and it just really rolls off the fingertips. So you want the pads of your fingers right on those seams. A lot of pitchers like the balls with the bigger seams because they get that better grip and they can really feel the seams under their fingers, and then they can get that good spin action of rolling it off the fingers. That's it. So each time I want you to really cock that wrist back and then snap it up. Cock it back, snap it up. There you go. And you'll see we put a black mark on the ball. And we do that for beginner pitchers. You can put a marker around it, you can put electrical tape around it, and we want to see that line spinning over and over versus side to side. So I know that Casey's hand is staying right behind the ball. That's perfect, good spin. So snap it up, get it to spin. That's it, cock that wrist every time, back and up. And if you have a couple beginner pitchers, they can do this back and forth as many reps as possible. You can't do this drill enough if you're a beginner pitcher. Because no matter how fast your arm speed is, no matter how strong your legs are, if your wrist isn't snapping the ball, then your fastball isn't going to be very fast. Exactly. So that's one drill that we can work on.
Oh, that's easy.
For beginner pitching. So that's the snap. From there, we can take this drill, and a drill that players can do on their own is to do the same concept but go under the knee. So they're working on snapping it up. So again, each time, don't rush, make sure that they're getting that grip. They don't just grab it and snap it. We want to see that C, fingers on it, come under, cock that wrist, snap it straight up. Ultimately, you want that wrist to get strong enough to where they can snap it higher and higher. If you want to, you can have a partner standing in front of them as they start with this, and then they'll just get used to that action of snapping it up, getting those 4 seams spinning, and strengthening their wrist for the snap. Gonna give it a shot?
All right, I think I'm gonna go under this leg though.
Okay.
Because I don't know that, I think my shoulders might be too wide to reach across. So we'll try not to hit myself in the mouth. Of course, you guys would like that.
That's it. Cock that wrist, snap it up. There you go, good spin.
I'm the man.
We want that ball rotating as much as possible.
Jenny Finch, here I come.
Right back at you. And the 4 seams also helps that the ball is going to have a natural drop. If you're throwing it hard enough, you have 4 seams cutting through the air, which is always helpful to have a little bite on it at the end of the pitch.
Still can't get it going straight though.
That's all right.
Oh, better.
And always encourage your beginners. Keep it up. You're doing good.
Thanks. Positive reinforcement. I like it.
Perfect.
I'm a man.
Okay. So that's the snap. A couple simple drills for the snap. From there, the next thing that's very important for your beginner pitcher is to realize the arm circle and the path that the ball has to travel before the snap. I tell the athletes, the young pitchers, to imagine a hula hoop right here by their side. And that ball has to travel up the front of the hula hoop, all the way to the top, down the back, and then snap it at your hip. So the ball's traveling up to your ear and right down the back to your hip. You'll see a lot of beginners that have a bend in their elbow and they don't get that full extension. And you'll also see a lot of athletes bending over when they're pitching. So I always tell them, be as tall as you can be. You see Jenny Finch, she's got that natural leverage advantage that she's getting that ball up real high, which just aids in her velocity.
It's all like a lever.
Right.
Just the basic principle of physics.
So we want to push forward, the beginning of that hula hoop, reach all the way up to the top, and then it's going to take us down to our snap. So just do a couple walkthroughs.
Where do you let go of the ball?
Right at your hip.
Right here?
Yep, that's your release point. And again, that's just a lot of muscle memory for that snap action happening at the hip.
So it's up and back. When do I start my step?
So we're going to start with the ball right on your leg with your top of your hand facing the catcher. And we're going to push. Both hands are going to travel toward the catcher initially. Then they separate, we open up, and it comes right down the back. That's it. And then you would snap right here.
You load your hips, you blow through with your hips?
Well, we're gonna open here at the top, and then as we come down, we snap the ball, and then our hips snap. So our hips close right after the ball crosses through. And when we get to the point of the ball being right at the top, it's going to be pointed toward that shortstop. So that's when the cocking action is going to come in. So as you push forward, you're going to naturally cock that wrist right toward the shortstop, come down, and right back to your snap that we worked on.
All right.
There you go.
I'm so happy I didn't hit the camera. I'm ready to quit.
Now, the one thing that I saw was that Casey's shoulders came forward.
Like this?
And if you have slow pitch pitchers that are making the transition, this is something that you often see. I know slow pitch is getting weeded out, but still we have some players who will come from slow pitch and then they want to lean forward. So I'll just grab the back of their shirt. So then when Casey starts, if his shoulders come forward,
hey, that one got up.
He gets a feeling for staying tall and keeping his shoulders back. So again, we want to remind the athletes to reach all the way to the top of the hula hoop and all the way down the back.
You don't have any as big as me, though, that can drag you around the ballpark.
This is true.
All right, so there's 3 quick drills.
3 quick drills.
I'm sure I can't strike anybody out right now, but maybe I'll stick after it. I'm sure I'm going to have a little girl one day who will want me to pitch to her. That's going to do it for today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow on Clubhouse Gas.